Hello and welcome to the Adrenaline All-American Lacrosse Game for 2019. I'm Patrick McEwen from Inside Lacrosse, excited to be here in the booth with West Coast Stars director and Torrey Pines head coach, John Oziesi, along with Inside Lacrosse's Josh Davey as our sideline reporter. Got a tremendous level of talent on display here, Jono.
Yeah, this should be great. We've got kids from 13 different states, a lot of the perennial powerhouses out west, and then a lot of the lesser-known programs, almost the non-traditional of the non-traditional, so to speak. So tonight should be a great conglomeration of the best players west of the Mississippi.
Just saw a really tremendous game from our girls earlier. We had the South got out to a lead. North came back and made it a one-goal game late before the South pulled ahead by 3. We are hoping to get the same thing from our boys.
Yeah, I would expect the same sort of result. The teams look pretty evenly matched on paper. More often than not, the team that wins this game is the team that plays the most cohesively. So talent everywhere in the field. Whoever plays the most sort of team ball will probably come out on top at the end of this.
What do you think? I think always the key, in my mind, the key is always offensively. You got to figure out the balance of who are your guys, but nobody can be too. Once guys start playing too selfish, that can spiral out of control where everybody's trying to get theirs. But you go the other way and nobody's looking to attack, you get problems. It's striking that balance.
Yeah, it's all about cohesion and guys stepping into roles, and sometimes roles are not used to playing, but whatever makes it work in an all-star game. So I'm excited to watch this.
We're going to start off by taking a look back at some highlights, a little bit of a recap on the history of this game and what we saw last year at the 2018 Adrenaline All-American Game.
The MVP of the 2018 Adrenaline All-American Award going to Megan Carney. Congratulations.
It's really cool being the first girls game out here and just taking home the dub. Seeing everyone come from the West and just shows how much the game's grown.
It was great to get out there with the boys and play one last game. You know, it's just a pleasure growing up with the Adrenaline name.
This is great. I mean, the whole atmosphere here is awesome. It's great to be surrounded by great players from the West Coast, and it's great to see that the game's going.
Was a nice recap of last year's event. Do you want to talk a little bit about the history of this event and how we kind of reached where we are at with this game? So many great players here in the Star, John.
Yeah, this game originated in 2011, and really it sort of formed out of a lack of Western players being acknowledged and invited to the Under Armour Senior Game, and just guys at Adrenaline just feeling like the West player was underserved and that it was time to start our own game to sort of acknowledge and celebrate all of the great Western players that were coming out at the time. So here we are in year 8 of this event, and it has grown exponentially. We're at the Star in Frisco, arguably the best venue for lacrosse in the country, and the talent seems to get better and better and from farther ranging each year. 13 different states in today's game.
Thanks, John. We're now going to go down to the sidelines with Josh Davey, who is standing by with North coach Andy Kay. Josh?
With North coach Andy Kay, head coach of MICDS out in Missouri, coaching up the North squad today. What is it like coaching an event like this when you have so many awesome players from all over the country trying to build chemistry? What are the biggest challenges?
I mean, there really aren't any challenges. These guys have all been, you know, the alpha dogs of their programs. They're extremely dialed in. They want to have fun, and what an honor it is for them to get to kind of take a victory lap after high school and get ready to go into college. So pretty easy, and everybody can catch and pass, which is pretty nice.
I know you have a couple of your own guys out here as well. Who are some guys you had to practice this morning that stood out or you're excited to watch get after it today?
Yeah, I mean, love watching Jake Taylor play. The ball, we talk about watching Klay Thompson from the Warriors. The ball's probably in that guy's hands for under a minute a game, but he makes an immediate impact based on the way that he plays off ball. Love my Denver East guys as well, just the compete level there, and really just consistently across the board. I mean, there's not a guy on the team that can't do it the right way.
How influential is a game like this in terms of growing the game out west and giving those younger guys, a handful of players to look up to, and then watching these guys go tear it up at the Division I level?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. And John Ozisi getting this together through Adrenaline. Adrenaline is great because they're kind of like the Switzerland of lacrosse, right? Like, all of us have our own different little affiliations, and the way that they can organize and galvanize what's going on west of Mississippi is certainly very impressive. And really what it comes down to is if these guys aren't the ones doing it, then who is? And they market the guys the right way. They talk about the right things, the leadership that's built in. It helps these guys get a good 4-year experience beyond high school.
Awesome. Coach, good luck. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Josh. That was Andy Kay, who's the coach of the North. Do you want to talk a little bit about him, Jono? What he brings to the table here?
Yeah, Coach K has built a pretty great program at MICDS in Missouri. They've won, I think, 4 straight Missouri State titles and continue to produce college-level players. And today, Andy has 3 of his MICDS guys on the North squad. 1 guy going to Penn State, 1 to Boston University, and then arguably the best player at the event, Graham Bundy, heading to Georgetown. So it's great to have Andy here and to have him with one last hurrah for his 3 players from MICDS.
Take a look here are our coaches for the North squad. In addition to Andy Kay, we have Peter Baum, 2-hour-ton winner out of Colgate Rourke, Denver, former Navy SEAL Syracuse player, his college teammate Paul Carcaterra. Who I wonder how he gets to be down there, and they put me up here instead of the reverse.
Yeah, a little role reversal, but that's quite a coaching staff, and we're really fortunate to have, Rourke and Peter here, who were inaugurated into the first Adrenaline Lacrosse Hall of Fame last evening, and having Kark MC that event was just a great all-around way to kickstart this weekend last night.
We're going to take a look at some of the players from the North squad. Any guys in particular? We're going to start off with the bat, Jono, of guys worth talking about?
Yeah, I think Andy hit the nail on the head with Jake Taylor, probably one of the best pure shooters and off-ball players out there. I think if you look at their attack with Alex Slusher heading to Princeton and Graham Blake heading to Harvard, I think that's the most formidable trio around. In the midfield, you've got Quinn Marquez and Graham Bundy, 2 of the most highly touted kind of do-it-all midfielders. And then, in goal, you've got a duo of goalies that, with Zach Roth being one of the most sought-after goalies out of Denver, headed to Rutgers. So right there, you've got 5 guys that, are nationally known as the best players.
Yeah, there's Graham Bundy. Let me know it's Graham Bundy Jr.
Correct.
So that I could mention. Then there's his teammate, Henry Carpenter. Let's talk. We're going to talk about. You mentioned his Denver East guys, who are Mustang Sally and Cole Finley Pons. I think two of the great names of this event.
Yep, 2 future all-name team guys, and 2 really just tremendous athletes in the midfield. Cole defensively really can turn defense into offense quickly in transition, and Mustang Sally, who's heading to Richmond, is a really formidable scoring threat, and it's great to have those guys.
And also great personalities. That maybe we'll get a chance to talk to one of them on the sidelines. Certainly hope so. They're fun guys who are always bringing some energy and excited to be around. From talking with them a little bit at this event.
Yeah, it was great to get to know some of the guys last night at the banquet and to talk with those guys candidly. And those guys were just really excited to be here. And every year we get more and more Colorado representation, which is great. It just adds to the game.
Wrap up a couple more guys. There's another look at Andy Kay with his North squad.
I think something to think about too with the North squad is we got a lot of St. Ignatius players here. St. Ignatius finished in the top 20 nationally for the 2nd year in a row, and it speaks volumes to a Western program being in the top 25 nationally is a rare thing, and it speaks to a lot of these guys that are in this game today. Mark Stevens, Topher Bly, Sam Parkinson, Kyle Edelman. So again, looking for St. Ignatius guys to probably be guys we speak a lot about today.
Absolutely. We are going to head back down to talk to Josh on the sidelines and sitting there with the coach of the South. Josh?
I'm here with Jason Gilday, coach of the South team. Coach, what is it like coaching an event like this? You're the coach at SMU, but having the opportunity to see, the future of the sport, but trying to build chemistry with a lot of guys who haven't played with each other before.
Well, I think Adrenaline's done a great job of being able to pull all this talent together from such a large group around the U.S. For them to get showcased, it's well-deserved. The schools that they're going to, they're great student athletes. We don't have to worry too much about the coaching aspect of it here today. They like to just have fun on the field, so it's really just getting to honor what they're going on to do.
How cool is it to have such a great representation of Western players in an event like this where these guys can be role models moving forward, and what are you looking out for your guys today?
I think we see a lot of future coaches, in the future in this region, just across the whole Midwest and the West Coast, for so many good players to be giving back to the game. They'll go on to do great things in college, and then I'm sure a lot of them will give back after they graduate.
Any guys specifically you're looking forward to getting after it?
I think I'm just getting to know the whole group today, so I think I'm just looking to see who's going to step up the most. So.
Awesome. Congratulations. Thanks.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Josh. We'll get a look here in a second at the coaching staff for the South. Got any thoughts on some of these guys, John?
Yep, so the coaching staff for the South, Jason Gilday is the head coach over at SMU, MCLA program, and Jay Sotheran is a former college coach who, this was his first year at Episcopal School of Dallas here in Texas, and they went on to be the state champions in his first year, so certainly a qualified staff, and certainly a staff that can sort of work well with this roster.
We're going to take a look at some of the guys they'll be coaching on the South squad here. The player lineup. Anyone in particular stand out to you, John?
Yeah, the South is loaded just as the North is. Up front, I think you start and end with J.J. Silstrop. Is probably the best threat offensively heading to Denver. At the face-off X, Mitchie Myers is going to be a dominant force in this game and probably may change the tide for the South. In the midfield, you've got Porter Holland, Logan Solberg, and Lance Tillman, who are all three guys that A, play well together, and B, bring together different skill sets and work well off of each other. And then defensively, you just have some beasts. Scott Bauer, Walt Alexander, Carson Rainey, Marco Napolitano, Oscar Hertz, all guys over 6'3", and all guys that can just lay the lumber.
Yeah, there's a couple guys, especially Bauer and Napolitano going to Virginia Notre Dame. Guys I've heard mention discussions. There's big talk in the ACC about who is going to guard Brennan O'Neill at Duke, and those are two names that come up as possibilities at those ACC programs.
Yeah, I think, like I said, defensively, this is a really deep class, and any one of those six guys that we just mentioned are all guys that I think are going to play in college sooner than later. So defensively, I think, is where the South is at its best. Like I said, J.J. Silstrop up front, along with Kevin Groninger, is going to be tough to stop.
Absolutely. Any maybe below the radar guys of who have been getting hyped that you think should be talked about more?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see who takes on those D, midi, and wing role play positions in an all-star game like this. I think a guy like Eli Butler is kind of a sleeper guy, and a guy like Tyler Bradbury up front is a quick, shifty guy that I think just always makes plays and is always hustling. So those kind of guys, the sort of lesser talked about guys, are usually the ones that have the big impact on a game like this.
Yeah, what about another guy potentially in that category? Koa Todd going to Utah is just looks like a potential Utah football recruit physically.
Yeah, Koa Todd had a great senior year. He was virtually unstoppable up in Orange County and helped St. Margaret's win the CIF title in Orange County. Yeah, he's tough to stop. Physical, fast, great shooter. So we'll see him tonight too.
Speaking of a couple guys who may be below the radar, not necessarily a player, but as a coach and up and comer, we're sitting in the booth here with Cleveland State's Dylan Sheridan, who guided his Vikings to a winning record here in the third year of the program. You want to talk to us a little bit about? You got three players in this game, Dylan. You want to give us a little preview of what we might expect from them?
They've had before to really test what they're made of against some of the best, and this is going to be great preparation, a little taste of the preparation they need, for the upcoming year. But certainly excited for, a couple of my guys to be a part of it. So, Oisin McTighe is right from here in Frisco, and so I think for him this is a pretty special opportunity to play in front of friends and family. He's a really rangy kind of LSM pull. He can get up and down the field. He's got a great stick, and I know he's the kind of kid that's going to have a smile on his face all day. We've got Kevin Sobey, who's a Canadian from Western Canada. He's going to be in the goal, which Canadian goaltenders, there aren't many out there, but he's pretty good. And then lastly, we've got Ian McKissick, a kid from Northern California. Didn't play at a high-profile high school, but he's got high-profile ability, and he's going to do a lot of great things between the lines here today.
I would say, looking at your current roster of guys, that you have a couple kids from out west that maybe were kind of below the radar guys. You want to talk about how you recruiting the West maybe has given you an advantage over some programs that are just stuck looking at guys on the East Coast?
Yeah, I think I'm very fortunate for the position of having worked at DU, and I was able to develop a great network of great contacts that helped me facilitate some of these recruits out west. Coach Zissy sitting right here helped me quite a bit. I've got some guys on my team now from Las Vegas, Seattle, Colorado, all over the place, and now a bunch of Texas kids coming in. And I think that they're hungry. They've been a little bit under-recruited, and so they play with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. But they're super excited to have the opportunity to compete at the Division I level, and I'm thankful that they're coming to Cleveland State to play for us.
Awesome. Anything in particular that you want to talk about the experience you're looking for your guys to get out of this game? You're just hoping they have fun. You want to see them. I mean, hopefully, assume you want to see them play well, but. I think
winning first and foremost. I want those guys to get a taste of winning at the highest level. This will be some of the best competition that they've ever faced. So, getting used to that, and then getting used to success. I think those are two important pieces of it. And then certainly, developing relationships. I think number two. I think that's really important. And these are kids they're going to see on the field for the next 4 years and probably a lot longer after that because this community is so small and tight knit. So hopefully they have fun, build relationships, and win.
So get some scouting in get some experience guarding guys they might see.
Always.
It's a good thought. Do you have any questions for Dylan Jono?
No, I'm familiar with all these guys. Dylan's got 3 great players heading his way, and Cleveland State just continues to get better each year. In year 3 already with a winning record, so it just speaks volumes to what Dylan's doing out there, and those 3 guys are in really good hands.
We still got a couple minutes to go until we play the national anthem. Anything else you wanted to mention, talk about, Dylan?
Well, I'm curious. You guys can fill me in. What rules are we playing today?
We are playing high school rules, which is, I think just what the kids are used to, which is going to be not as exciting, but at least they're used to it and they will know what's going on. So I think the kids would be too confused if the college rules.
There's a lot of different rules out there.
No, California Federation is what they're playing.
Gotcha.
So.
I am an assistant coach of a high school team, and we played games under 3 different sets of rules this spring, which is not a great situation for us.
I'll tell you what, we took our high school team to Dallas for spring break, and the referees let the kids play, which is great. So I don't expect to see a lot of flags being thrown today, which is probably in everyone's best interest. So hopefully that stays true to form, and the kids can just play.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also, I always feel like in the shot clock has a huge impact in games where you have coaches who are exerting a lot of control over what their offense does. In showcase games, when you don't have the practice and when kids are just looking to have fun, you're probably not going to stop them from going to the goal. And we saw in the girls' game, team up 3 with 30 seconds left was still firing away, looking to score. And I think we'll probably see the same thing. So a little bit of a. Despite the high school rules' lack of the shot clock, I'm not sure that'll make a big impact.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see the coaches hollering yellow too much today.
No. Maybe to get a sub, maybe we're going to go, let's get some fresh guys on so we don't get guys caught out there for too long. Make sure everybody gets a break. But no, you generally see everybody giving the green light to go in a game like this, which leads to a lot of exciting play.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Pace of play will not be an issue today.
Okay, we are moments away from the national anthem. Get a look at some of those guys in the South. There's Paul Carcaterra and the North coaching staff over there on the sidelines, giving their guys some last-minute advice. concludes the national anthem. Got a great view of the facility that we're in, the Dallas Cowboys practice field here, the Ford Center. I think it's an awesome, as you mentioned, one of potentially the best spots in the Western United States, if not the country, to play a game like this.
Yeah, there's no detail left undone in this facility from top to bottom, from the experience to the outside. When you walk in, the Jumbotron, the locker rooms, the actual field itself, it's an intimate environment, state-of-the-art everything. So to be a high school kid and to play in this environment, this is just a game changer. So I wish I had one of these experiences when I was growing up.
The teams get lined up for the opening faceoffs. Looks like we're going to get Myers against Pacheco.
It should be a great matchup. Mitchie Myers heading to Dartmouth, probably the best faceoff guy in California. Eric Pacheco out of Valor Christian in Colorado, the best guy to do it out there. So these two should go at each other all day. It should be fun to watch.
Yeah, faceoffs are, I feel like, one thing that is sometimes can be hard to scout when you don't have best guys against best guys. That is always exciting in a game like this to find out, you know, who really is are the best of the best.
Yeah, you just hope it doesn't sort of sway the game too much and that it's relatively even, so it doesn't change the outcome too much.
Yeah.
Great check to start the game right there by Matthew Beddow on Graham Bundy.
Looks like the ball will go over to the South for their first possession of the game. They'll look to clear.
That's Oscar Hertz wearing number 35. A little change in the roster right there, down low on defense for the South. Up front for the South, we've got number 2, Bradley Liner from Torrey Pines, number 29, Alex Pistorius from Torrey Pines, and Tyler Bradbury. So those are 3 guys that have played together both in the spring and in club for many years. So the South might have a little bit of an advantage with cohesion.
That certainly sounds to be the case, as you would know, having coached some of those guys.
Yeah, we've got 4 Torrey Pines guys out on the field right now, so cohesion is on their side. Hopefully they can play well.
It's always a fun thing watching your guys play for somebody else.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, in a big game. I mean, when you've gotten them to the level, that's when they not to go play above bigger and better things. And a nice little dodge underneath on the wing there by Mines.
It's off the crease and in the crease off the crossbar. So good take. Should have finished that ball though.
North will look to clear the ball. Groff with the ball in the goal, throws a pass up the wing, ends up on the ground, and the South will carry.
It's Colin O'Connor, I think. Yep. Colin O'Connor, one of the better stick-handling long stick middies. Great off the ground. Plays at La Costa Canyon in San Diego, heading to Towson next year.
Yeah, it was big. One of I thought was appreciated. He's cited as a reason he likes why he's going to Towson. The uniforms there are great.
Number 1 uniforms, right? Didn't they just win that award for the year?
Yeah, they've won like 3 of the last 4 or 5 years. Under Armour does a great job for them with those uniforms. Here is Mines. And a long shot from the outside. It's like number 22 Butler with the goal there.
Eli Butler out of Poway, headed to Brown University. Great late pickup for the Bears. Eli is just a great player. Was sort of under-recruited coming along, and Brown got him late in the game, so kudos to them.
It looks like one foot inside the arc there. If we were playing pro rules, would not be a long one, but that is displaying certainly his shooting range there. The nice team celebration from the South. Had that one choreographed up for the first goal, it looks like.
Yep, that was actually relatively original. I'm okay with that.
There's a face-off win for the North. Pacheco comes down and takes the shot, rings it off the post, and the North will pick up the ground ball and retain possession.
Here's our first look at Jake Taylor down low. Slusher at X. Alex Slusher heading to Princeton, one of the most explosive attackmen in the country, let alone the West.
Nice feed in front, is a little bit off target. And the South will carry the ball down the field and look to initiate in transition here before they have numbers. A little bit of 4-on-6 action. Not usually the numbers you're looking for offensively.
No, nice interception by Luke Michaeljewski, the lone MCLA player in the game, going to Cal Poly, and here he is. Ooh.
Nice hustle there on the ride from the south to knock that ball away, get it back. We'll look to attack in transition here, and the shot is saved from Tillman.
Yep, Lance Tillman, great shot, great save by Zach Groff. A little bit of pregame, early game jitters here. A lot of turnovers so far. That's understandable. Guys are trying to get settled in here. Everyone's probably a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it always helps to get that first run under your belt. And get settled into the game, get some sweat going. Mustang Sally picks up the ground ball and has it knocked away. Yeah, it's an excellent ride there. Blake.
Number 2, Brad Leinert on the ride right there. South team needs to get a little bit more cohesive with their spacing. And guys, a lot of guys are just standing around off ball or getting in each other's way. So.
Yeah, as you talked about setting them to the roles, one of the tricky parts about meshing great players, you've got a lot of on-ball guys. You got to figure out some of them have to work on adding that off-ball component to their game. When you go from being the guy that people get out of the way for to having to get out of the way for other people, it can be a little bit of a change-up as you move up to higher levels of play.
Yep, absolutely.
A nice run down the field. That is Mercurio, who takes it himself with the long pull.
AJ Mercurio from the Reno, Nevada area. Not too many lacrosse players coming out of there. Late pickup for the Denver Pioneers. Again, like I said, this is our first ever Reno, Nevada player in the game, and kudos to him, coast to coast for a big goal.
Yeah, it was always carrying it down in the fast break. With a pole carries it down, you never expect them to dodge. You're always assuming they're going to pass, and sometimes that, if you play your cards right, that 1 out of 20 times or something when you fake the pass and carry it in, you can catch the defense sleeping.
Yeah, that was a nice take. So we're knotted here at 1.
Though you got to be aware that in All-Star games, always assume everybody is looking to score. Nice face-off win for the South there. That is Myers wins it to himself, drops it back to the defense. The South will finish up their subs, work the ball back to X. Leinert runs by his man, feeds it up to the wing. And the subs will finally complete their subbing rotation. Maybe not. Nope, they got one more guy to go.
Nice pass from Leinert to Pistorius. I've seen this movie before. Great connection. Alex Pistorius, one of the best pure shooters in the West. 82 goals this year. Led Torrey Pines to a #1 ranking in the West and a top 20 finish nationally. And Pistorius is heading to Colgate. One of the best pure shooters out there and just great hands on that left wing.
Yeah, I think that one might have been one where they caught him sleeping with a little sub of go during the sub, and defense can't ever relax.
Nope, not with guys like this shooting the ball out there.
Get a bit of a switch, change up. Pollard will come in and take the draw for the South up against McCusker for the North.
Great ground ball by number 11, Luke Michaeljewski in there scrapping.
Some good stick work by the poles there for the South to get that ball up and up. Got a pole to pole to pole.
Good take by Michaeljewski, and now they're going to get their subs back on, and the South will regain possession here. Try to go up 3-1 if they can.
Yeah, 3-on-6 there, deciding you're gonna maybe that those numbers are enough in your favor. Maybe better off just holding up there. But
here's Koa Todd. We spoke about him earlier. Led St. Margaret's to a CIF title in Orange County. He stuffed. Kevin Groninger, also St. Margaret's guy, player of the year in Orange County. It's in the crease. Turnover, North ball.
Almost picked up the Kobe assist there, Koa Todd. North will look to clear. pull back to a short stick. The south ride has really potentially been, if you're to make a difference here in the first couple minutes, has been the south ride.
Yeah, it's great to see guys hustling around. You don't always see that in an all-star game, but it's great to see guys going hard, as it should be.
Here's Scott with the ball. We'll have some nice defensive work there. That was Bauer. Or no, that was Hertz, number 35. Over on him. A shot down the alley. That was a rip far post.
Sam Parkinson, St. Ignatius, headed to Villanova. Coached against Sam for the last 4 years. He was a Tory killer. He's a great player. Does a little bit of everything. Great on ground balls, can score, can play D. Just a great sort of like impact, mid-sized, shifty player. Does a lot of things really well.
That was a rocket of a sidearm shot from a couple steps outside the hash marks.
Correction, number 77 for the North Americans with game time.
Yeah, those are 11s, not 77s. Take another look. It's a real nice shot just inside the post. Face-off violation. We'll get the ball to North. Here is Slusher with it, carrying behind.
I'd like to see Joe Walsh get his first save to just settle in. Seen 2 shots, 2 goals so far. Will be good for him to get a save and get into a rhythm.
Yeah, Slusher will look to initiate rolls back against Rainey. Keeps working against him. Shoved off the island there, Rainey. Nice physical defense. Worth the ball back. A little backhand attempt there from Taylor.
See Marco Napolitano covering Jake Taylor, future roommates at Notre Dame. Great little matchup. Here's Quinn Marquez.
Takes the lefty shot, goes wide. North will back it up and retain possession. Scott picks it up off the end line and goes. Looks like he had about a half a step on Bauer there, but not quite enough to get anything done. Here is Goller, headed to Bucknell next year. He's a guy they really hope can make an impact. They need some midfielders there at Butler. They graduated all 3 of their top guys. So there's playing time to be had for him at Bucknell if he can take it.
Yeah, Goller, just similar to what we talked about with Parkinson earlier, just a sort of a shifty guy, utility guy, can do a lot of things really well. Great with the ball, doesn't turn it over very much. I think he'll do well at the collegiate level. There's Walsh. That's all he needs.
Needs one. Yeah, it's always nice to get one under your belt if you're a goalie. South Carolina attacking in transition, cross crease pass.
Nice shot by Leinart. Great feed. Napolitano to Bradbury to Leinart. Tic-tac-toe, fast break.
It's a Notre Dame pole running the fast break. Not always something you see with guys coming out of high school headed to Notre Dame.
Yeah, go ahead. Another look at Joe Walsh. Like I said, just as a goalie, especially in one of these kind of games, just getting your first save under your belt, it just makes a world of difference. So started and ended with Joe Walsh right there.
Especially a clean one where you can grab it in your stick, no rebound, come up gunning, look to start the fast break. Get a face-off win for Pacheco for the North here. Here's Graham Bundy with it. Number 8 will look to go as they sub, but Pacheco comes back on. North has numbers. The feed inside isn't handled, and the South will look to clear as Bauer comes up with it.
Graham Bundy, one of the best players in the country, going to play for one of my favorite guys, Coach Kevin Warren. Great coach, hysterical human being. Oh, wow. Winton Bastion right there, filling the lane in transition.
That was a nice 5-on-4 fast break. Able to use the trailer there and catch him streaking down the middle.
Bastion's one of those guys that, like we talked about earlier, plays on one of those sort of no-name high school programs and sort of is a diamond in the rough. Got picked up late, but he's a great fit for Providence where he's headed. And again, a really athletic guy, a lefty. Again, under-recruited and a guy that I think will actually do really well at the next level that many people don't know about.
A face-off win. Myers wins it forward to himself for the South. Bradbury over on the wing will move it to Hamway in front, who will take a look. Doesn't find anything there, pulls it out to settle it up. The South will work it around. We'll pick from the wing. Get a switch there for Greninger.
Greninger was Player of the Year in Orange County. Can play attack and play midfield. Headed to Bryant next year. Really freakishly athletic, fundamentally sound, and tough. Really good player, Kevin Greninger, and real big part of why St. Margaret's has had so much success the past 3 years. Here's our first look at Topher Bly out of St. Ignatius. Quick, shifty, attack/midi hybrid. Headed to Brown in the fall. Part of that great St. Ignatius team this year that finished in the top 20 nationally. Year in and year out, those guys produce great teams.
So feed and slide from Slusher to Bly. And the save is made by Walsh there. Got one, now got a second.
I've coached against Joe Walsh enough to know that when he's hot, he's as good as anyone. And right now he looks to be settling into a groove. Great ride by Edelman in the north right there. And then just a careless turnover right there by Jake Jackson.
That was a nice check there. Looked like number 28 for the North, Siegel, throwing the check on the pass to let the ball go through.
Hail Mary pass with no time left in the quarter. So great first quarter. Like I said, a lot of guys got that first quarter jitters. Hopefully we're going to see a much cleaner game from here on out when guys settle in and the nerves are gone.
We're going to go down to Josh Davey on the sideline with J.J. Silstrip. Josh?
Jono, I don't mean to chirp you up there, but I have another Tory killer here with J.J. Silstrup. He's headed to Denver. J.J., you got a quick run there. I know you're chomping at the bit to get back in. What have you seen so far? The speed, what's different about this game?
Yeah, it's a really fast game, different from high school. And this is my first time playing in a dome, so I'm getting used to the lights. But this place is awesome, and I can't wait to get back in.
La Costa Canyon High School, one of the powerhouses in California. How cool is it to play with players from California and Texas and all over the West? And how excited are you to head to Denver next year and continue the legacy of just Western powerhouse lacrosse?
Yeah, everyone here deserves to be here, and they're here for a reason. So just playing with great talents, it's special. Not a lot of people get to do it. And yeah, I can't wait to get to Denver. I can't wait to be coached by Coach Tierney and that coaching staff there, and wear the crimson and gold and represent as such a powerhouse of lacrosse.
Yeah, he's one of the best. Well, I know you're chomping at the bit to get back in there. I'll let you do your thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh. We're going to take a quick break.
Adrenaline's been a great sponsor for us this year. We came in and got all new gear. We got some new jackets and some shooter shirts and some new uniforms. All this stuff's been really light. It was light, it was comfortable. The product on the West Coast, and that's spreading to the East Coast.
We are back underway here at the 2018 Adrenaline All-American game. South with the ball and a 2-goal lead up, 4-2.
Here we are back in the second quarter. Carson Spooner with the ball behind.
Feet in front and a nice snag of the ball by the North, who will look to push in transition here, have numbers of 5 and 4 if they want it. Ball moves over. Great slide there, help by Scott Bauer coming over off the point man late to trap him in and cause a turnover, put the ball on the ground. Battle for the ball here.
Great hustle right there by number 9, Porter Holland. Nice ground ball, 36, Holden Evans. One of the toughest, most undersized, just one of the little engine that could. I love that guy. Plays as hard as anyone I've ever coached. Certainly not the biggest guy in the field, but always makes plays in the hustle game, riding game. Just a scrappy kid.
Here's Bradbury with the ball behind for the South.
Nice cut by Mines. Oh, great save. Great save by Groff. That was awesome. Kick save.
And a Butte.
Oh, yeah.
The North will settle it up, work the ball in behind.
Spoke to Trevor.
Take a look at the slow break. Here they go to find a man in front. Can't handle it. And the South comes away with it. That is Napolitano picking up the ground ball for the South as they will look to get some subs and clear.
Taking another look at that Groff save. Great shot by Mines off stick, hip. Great save. I spoke to Trevor Tierney about a month ago, and he thinks Zach Groff is the best incoming freshman goalie in the country, which says a lot, as Trevor was one of the best goalies to ever do it.
Feet up top, can't be handled, but luckily there's another South player coming on who's able to pick it up. It's Tillman over to...
Too many guys in the field.
Always an issue in games like this. Got a lot of guys getting one on the field. Not a lot of practice subbing. Not typically one of the things you necessarily work on when you have with your limited practice time.
Just a lot of guys chomping at the bit to try to get some playing time.
Oh yeah, I'd better have that than nobody wants to go on the field though.
Right.
North will work it around, look to set something up. Take a run at it here is Barnes. Move over to the wing. A nice wing dodge, roll back, a nice slide there by the South defense. Bauer comes over, and that is
Matthew Bedell here in transition. Another great save by Groff.
Takes a shot, the rebound.
Spooner with the goal. That should count. Oh, they're going to call that one off. Carson Spooner on the rebound. They're going to say no goal, though, in the crease. And here comes the North. Tommy Barnes.
Looks across, passes up a no-angle shot, feed across to the backside. Can't be handled. And it'll be the South going the other way.
Great job by Joe Walsh in the clearing game. Here comes Joe Walsh pushing transition.
Oh yeah, he's looking for that pass back in a game like this.
South has to be careful here while the goalie out of net. Another great look for the North. Niederinghaus just mishandled the ball, but he was open. A little bit sloppy here in the first half.
South will work it around, look to set something up. Here's Jackson taking a run of the short stick, moves the ball around to Bradbury in front,
nice
and
save.
a nice save there.
Great cut by Tyler Bradbury, great pass by Jackson, another just great save.
Here's that save by Groff. Another one off his leg. He is just doing a great job of getting those legs in front of the ball.
Here we got Lake De La Fuente with the ball, another future all-name teamer.
Almost got him there with the over-the-head check.
Ooh, pipe. Tillman hit the pipe.
Spooner comes up with the save the possession for the South. That's one thing we saw in the girls' game is the South just had all these 3, 4, 5 shot possessions, which were able to eventually turn into goals. Man, it was a huge difference maker for them getting those second chance opportunities. There's a run down the alley, moving the ball to X. Here's Bradbury.
The South just needs to work on their spacing here. Nice take. Another nice save by Groff. He's on fire right now. Literally changing the flow of this game.
Yep, here comes the North, the transition opportunity. Pass fake. That was Mercurio carrying the ball down. Throw it he likes those pass fakes. That's his second one. You wonder how many of those you can get away with before the other defense starts figuring out that you're not going to give it up.
Oh, great save by Mogi Watson. Just subbed in for Walsh and goal. First play, first doorstep save. Great job stuffing Graham Blake.
Here is Jackson carrying the ball up the field.
So we've got a new attackant for the South. Holden Evans still out there. You've got Silstrop and Pistorius, 2 lefties. Let's see how those guys work together. And the South needs to get a fresh midfield group on right now. But hoping the game picks up a little bit, becomes a little bit less sloppy here as we move forward.
Get a bounce shot and another save.
Not a great shot by Todd. A little bit too deep, not much on it. And the way Groff's playing right now, probably not the best move shooting from deep. Oh, great
feed
shot.
in front. Oh, that was a nice vision there on the feed in the wing, finding cutting player in front for the goal in transition.
Yep, Ryan Rogers found Mark Stevens. Mark Stevens is one of the greatest kids out there. Does it all, midfielder, athletic, wonderful human being off the field, headed to Harvard. Does a lot of things well. Great to see him run the lane and finish out in transition.
Speaking of transition, we're going to go send it down to Josh. He's going to talk to an LSM for the North headed to Johns Hopkins with Cole Finley Pons. Josh?
Great kids. I've been standing next to Cole Finley Pons, who's headed to Hopkins here for a few minutes. Coach Petramalo is getting a leader out of him, that's for sure. He's fired up, cheering for the Poles, getting up and down. Guys he's just met this weekend. Cole, what's so special? How much fun have you been having so far this weekend?
Honestly, I just love coming out, playing some lax. I get to play against some of the best kids in my class, especially on the West Coast. Like, these are the best of the best, and I'm just glad to be here, you know? I'm just going to give it my all and just go as hard as I can, you know?
Your energy is contagious. I'm sure Petramala is fired up to have you there. What makes Hopkins so special? How excited are you to get to play on historic Homewood Field? What are you most excited about being a Blue Jay next year?
Well, one thing that makes Hopkins so special is just everybody that's there, you know? Coach Petro, Coach Dwan, Coach Vincent, Coach Obrensky, like all of them, you know, they're just really good people. They all talk to me. We're all like homies. They be texting me and all that. So I guess I just love the culture that was around it. I loved how people that went to that school came back to it and, you know, found a home coaching like Coach Petro, Coach Dwan. Like, I just knew it would be a place where I could grow and just become the best athlete I could be, or the best lacrosse player.
I love it. Your energy is contagious. I'm about to knock out some push-ups or something like that. Ella, you do your thing. Great to meet you. Get back in there and make some plays, man. Back to you guys.
During the break, we just missed a goal. Face-off guy Mitchie Myers went coast to coast to put the South back up 5-3. North has the ball now, but big momentum swing with a face-off goal by Mitchie Myers, one of the best face-off guys in the country. Heading to Dartmouth, was originally committed to Bryant, just continued to get better and better, and more options opened up for him, and also just a wonderful kid. So.
And we almost had another spectacular play with Pacheco. Took the next face-off down and went a little behind the back.
Another save by Watson. He's in there now 2 for 2 in goal. The goalies have really been the difference makers in this game so far.
I think it's one of, people don't necessarily like to talk about them, but I think it's hard to argue. There are not many positions on the field that can make more of an impact on the outcome of a game than goalie play.
I would agree.
It's just, it changes the spacing of the field for a defense when you can rely on, you know, your goalie's going to make saves. It just changes everything about the way you play and makes it so much easier as a defender.
Another save by Watson. That's 3 for 3. A great take by Graham Blake there. He had a step on his guy, wrapped around, but like I said, just to speak to it, Mogi Watson continues to help the goalie play here.
South looks to set up their offense. Being a little more patient. We had I think guys have settled down a little bit after that early kind of everybody was looking to score as soon as they got a touch on the ball. Now guys are kind of gotten back into the flow of making the type of decisions they're used to making on the field to win games.
That's just a great take right there.
was Solberg for the South, rolling back to his right hand, going overhand, high to low on that. So
Solberg probably has the hardest shot on the South team. The guy can absolutely hammer the ball. Ambidextrous, athletic, really nice pickup for Yale, and he's going to be a really good player. He's a kid that works at his game nonstop, loves lacrosse, and like I said, he can absolutely hammer the ball.
Face-off guys there forgot what side of which way they were going. Have to be switched around. We did a little bit different matchup of Myers against McCusker out there.
McCusker is sort of a Swiss Army knife, a little bit of D-midi, played some pole, also faces off. Not necessarily a Fogo by trade, but really athletic and tough kid.
Is Myers for the South who wins it. They will look to sub and set up their offense.
Here's our first look at Silstrop. Arguably one of the most dynamic attackmen to ever come out of San Diego. A guy that I think will play as a freshman and probably have a really good freshman season. He's college ready.
Going to play for Coach Tierney and Matt Brown's offense there at Denver.
Yeah, he fits their offense to a T. Coach Brown, probably the best in the business at doing what he does. And here's JJ doing what he does. Just crafty, slick. They love lefties over there.
Who doesn't love lefties?
This is true.
You can never have too many lefties on a lefty attackman. Speaking of lefty attackman, I believe that was one down there. It was a nice lefty rip from Thomas Niedringhaus.
Niedringhaus, one of the three guys here from MICDS, Coach K's program, getting on the board. Watson had no shot at that.
He did take that one left-handed, but I would say I have seen him play, and for the first 5 minutes I watched him, I thought he was a lefty, and then he moved to the right side, and I still to this day don't quite know if he actually is right or left-handed.
I think he's a midfielder too. Just bumped down to attack to probably fill out the lines and even things out. But
yeah, I think he's a guy who I think has played both. Could play either. He's a guy who can shoot from the wings with either hand. Can run down. Can go down the alley. Can get to the middle of the field. Is kind of an incredibly versatile player.
He's going to play for Boston University. Ryan Poley and Adrenaline favorite Max Soberlicht. Really good friend of ours, and those guys have done a great job building the BU program.
Also a Josh Davey favorite.
Oh wow, there we go.
Former Lynchburg coach.
Yes,
anyone
oh,
who.
Oh wow, Luke Michaeljewski. Why I love this goal, as we talked about in the pregame, guys that are lesser known might impact the game. Luke is the only MCLA player on the roster. Just kind of a kid that got overlooked during recruiting, but proving his worth today. And that was not only a great ground ball, but a great getting back underneath, getting in front, getting an angle, and just hammering the ball with a fake. Textbook.
And tiptoeing the crease.
Yeah.
That is the ability to look at the goalie, make fakes, and find the opening while tiptoeing the crease and not stepping on it. An incredible display of athleticism there.
Yep, great coaching from his spring coach, Jules Hennenberg, Brian Winterfeld. Those guys do a great job, and nice to see Luke representing the MCLA right there.
Blake handling the ball, moves it up to Allman up top. North will look to initiate with Barnes down the wing, over across, and a shot there from Rogers.
Let's look at the South right now. Every single pole out there is 6'3" or 4" or bigger. I think the North just really needs to isolate shorties and initiate from there and stay away from some of these guys.
That is one thing that struck me meeting all these kids as they came in to the banquet last night. Is I'm a solid 6'1", a little taller than average, and I felt short compared to a number of these guys.
Yeah, well, try being me. So yeah, it's just got a great look at Oscar Hertz right there. Part of the Danish national team, headed to Brown next year. One of many of these savages, 6'4" and bigger defenders for the South.
It's halftime. We're going to take a look at some of the notable alumni from this game.
I love it.
Before we take a break. Got a couple of big names on here. I didn't even. This was a list of players I didn't even need to look up any of them up because I knew who they all were.
Yeah, you've got Gosh, Asher Nolting might have been the best attackman in the game this spring. Cade Van Raphorst now in the PLL.
One of a personal one of those guys in the IL office that got reputation as being one of my guys because I talked about how great he was
He's
so
awesome.
often.
Yep.
Thought he's the best team defender in the country.
Yep, great. Cade was just, God, he has been one of the better players since we met him in 9th grade, and just great to see him carry that out and lead Duke to 2 Final Fours. Tanner Scales, Dan Morris, an All-American, Eric Adamson, an All-American, and now a coach at Denver University, and Joe Lang, just 3-time All-Ivy guy at Harvard. Just there, this list could be, so long if we wanted it to be, but just these 6 right here are just a great representation of guys that climbed the Western ladder and played in this game and then went on to do great things at the college level.
Absolutely. We are going to take a quick break.
Check, check, check.
Adrenaline's been a great sponsor for us this year. We came in and got all new gear. We got some new jackets and some shooter shirts and some new uniforms. All this stuff.
We're off cam. We're on cam.
It was light. It was comfortable.
The product on the West Coast, and that's spreading to the East Coast.
Welcome back to the 2019 Adrenaline All-American Game. I'm here up in the booth, joined by Paul Carcaterra and Rourke Denver, who was just inducted into the Western Lacrosse Hall of Fame here last night at a banquet. I'm going to let you guys talk a little bit about that and what's going on so far.
Well, I'm going to start off. I'm going to brag about my friend Rourke Denver, who was a trailblazer and a pioneer for Western lacrosse. Came to Syracuse University as a freshman in the fall of 1992 as an All-American from the Bay Area. And back then, that wasn't the norm. So he took a chance. He bet on himself. Won 2 national titles, was an All-American and a captain, and last night was inducted to the Western Lacrosse Hall of Fame in the first class along Peter Baum, and I couldn't be more honored to be there for him, speak on his behalf, and enjoy an amazing night, not only for Rourke and Peter, but I think for Western lacrosse as a whole. There's a look at Peter Baum last night. He won the Tewaaraton in 2012 from Colgate, a lot like Rourke in terms of just being a trailblazer. Rourke's message to the group, the Adrenaline All-Americans on the men's and women's side, was amazing stuff.
We're going to go down to Josh Davey in the field for the Huber Award.
I am here with CEO of Adrenaline, Alex Cade. We're here to honor a young man with the Jeremy Huber Award. Jeremy was a player from Western from the Western area, was playing at Hopkins and tragically lost his life. And every year, Adrenaline honors someone with the Jeremy Huber Award, someone who honors his spirit and keeps his memory going. So this year, we want to award the 2019 Jeremy Huber Award to Ian McKissick. Ian, I know it's halftime. You're sweaty, out of breath a little bit. What does it mean to win an award that just means this much?
Well, I really just want to thank everyone that helped me get to Jeremy Huber and I really like to try to live Jeremy Huber's life throughout my life, be as kind, as respectful as possible, and be just like him.
That's awesome. This is an award they give out every year, something that's really special. You're going to Cleveland State. I know your coach is here as well. Congratulations, and we're looking forward to seeing you do some great things ahead.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Josh. We go back to Paul and Rourke up here in the booth. Rourke.
One inducted in the first class with a class act, an elite player like Peter, and then to have my teammate of 3 years and good buddy Paul Carcaterra give a speech on my behalf, and then more than anything, just to get to talk to the young Lions that are coming up in the sport that are going to represent Western states at the highest level of this game. It just is a real treat. It feels like full circle. When I came from what was at that point a backwater of Northern California lacrosse, people scratching their heads when they'd see California or CA on the back of somebody's name at the elite level of Division I, and now that's across every major program in the country. You have folks from this region of the world, and I think in some ways the polarities are going to either balance or shift to the West. There's so many good athletes that have figured this game out. The youth programs are growing like crazy. Just be able to have an opportunity to talk to the young troops, give them our thoughts before they head on to this next adventure is a treat and a real honor. And Paul said it, and I would echo the exact same thing. Any one of us would trade places with them tomorrow to have the opportunity to start again. And so it's a lot of fun to be a part of it.
And, I think when you look at Western lacrosse as a whole, too, I have the luxury of calling games for ESPN and the Division I ranks week in and week out. When I first started calling college lacrosse games in 2004, it was like mind-blowing when you saw more than one guy. Like there might have been a Rourke Denver on a roster here and there, but when you saw more than one or two guys on a roster, it was alarming. Now, these Division I rosters are littered with Western talent to the standpoint where if the traditional powers out east and the ACC and the Big Ten and the Ivy, if they don't have these guys, they are at a competitive disadvantage. Spending the last couple days with these guys and specifically today, watching the first half and spending some practice time with them, these guys are elite athletes. The stick skills now, and the gap has closed in regards to that. So just the overall lacrosse IQ, their ability to see the game, I think has been the biggest growth over the last 10 years. I really think like this was a game, if you saw 10 years ago, you might have one or two super elite guys where some of the elite guys can't even stand out on this field because the gap is closed, and the middle tier guys amongst this group are almost as good as, say, the Jake Taylors of the world.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. We're gonna show some highlights here, and while we take a look at those, here with Peter Baum as well. Peter, do you want to talk about what this game means to you? What being inducted into the Western Lacrosse Hall of Fame? How kind of special this all is?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great honor for me, as a Western-born player, growing up in Oregon, growing up playing lacrosse in the Adrenaline system, and having a lot of fun and a really deep relationship with this company for a long time. So to be inducted by them is a real pleasure, and it's great to be out here and see what some of these young players are doing, sort of as they head into the prime of their lacrosse playing career. Getting a chance to speak to everybody last night. It's really an exciting time for these young players, and for me, there's a lot of pride in seeing how far this game has come in a relatively short period of time. So yeah, it's been a real pleasure, and it's an honor to be recognized for what I've done as a Western player. It's something that's always meant a lot to me, trying to represent an entire region, and it's great to see more and more of these players littering NCAA rosters from Division III on up to Division I on the men's and women's side. So it's a real treat.
Anybody in particular in the first half catch your eye?
Well, I was watching the Colgate guy, Alex Pistorius. He stuck a nice lefty goal at the beginning there, so I'm a little biased. But I think everybody's shown well so far, and the athleticism really stands out. These players they're fast, they're quick, a lot of big boys down there, and the goalie play was really good in the first half as well, so that's always something to look forward to. That's a transition that can be pretty seamless, actually, if you can step in right away as a freshman goaltender. You know, it's impressive, but it's not unheard of, so those guys have a chance to make an impact pretty quickly, I think.
Absolutely. We're going to let you get back down to the sidelines to get back to coaching. Thanks for joining us up here.
Thanks for having me.
That was Peter Dong, former Tewaaraton winner, good friend. Thanks a lot, Pete.
You have any thoughts on the first half, John? Guys who stood out to you is playing real well.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier in the broadcast, the team that has the most cohesion and could play together will ultimately win. I just thought we saw a really sloppy first half, and I'll attribute a lot of it to guys just being nervous and a little bit unfamiliar. But I'd like to see the level of play pick up in the second half and make it a little bit of a cleaner game. And I feel like there was so much transition that a lot of guys didn't even get that much playing time that I was expecting to see some. Mark Stevens, Quinn Marquez, Graham Bundy. We didn't really even get a good look at those guys because of the lack of possession time for the North.
Yeah, I think that is probably the message that those guys would have been getting at halftime from Paul and Rourke and Peter if we hadn't stolen them away. And I think it's also something we will see. That I think you're right that first quarter, a little nervous guys. Everyone wants to come into a game like this, and it's on such a big stage. Getting a goal, can be real special. You don't want to pass up a potential transition opportunity early on. And then I think you kind of get settled in a little bit and realize you need to go back to making good decisions, not just always attacking the goal just to attack.
I mean, it's just like anything. You got to let the game come to you. The minute you start forcing things and pressing, it's never a good thing. It never works out the way you want it to. So hopefully, guys settle in. Less is more in some sense here, and I hope to see a much cleaner game in the second half. So excited.
We are going to take a quick commercial break before we resume the second half.
Adrenaline's been a great sponsor for us this year. We came in and got all new gear. We got some new jackets and some shooter shirts and some new uniforms. All this stuff's been really light.
It was light, it was comfortable. The product on the West Coast, and that's spreading to the East Coast.
Here at the Ford Center in Frisco. You're looking at Andy Kay, coach of the North. What do you think he was telling his guys at halftime there, Johnny?
I think Andy was just hoping to get a little bit more possession time and guys settling in. Everyone's all for push and transition and trying to make plays, but I think it cost the North in the first half. They just didn't have the ball, and the South capitalized every time they turned it over. And here we go again. Inauspicious beginning for the North right here.
There is Cole Finley-Pons, we talked to earlier, over there taking a couple whacks at it and ends up knocking the South player out of bounds to come up with the ball. And he will smartly pass it back to go to the settled clear rather than trying to push the ball ahead.
Here's the local product, O'Sheen McTeague, from locally right here in Frisco.
Yeah, Dylan Sheridan, his future college coach, mentioned him, talked a little bit before the game.
Yeah, really nice of Dylan to come fly out and watch some of his guys. Pretty special for them to have their college coach on hand.
Yeah, North will take a run at it from the wing. There's a low angle shot. Oh boy, he stuck that one. And that is about as low of an angle shot as you're ever going to see in lacrosse.
Yeah, for all the great saves Watson made in the first half, that's a cardinal sin as a goalie. You never want to get small and shrink like that. I don't know how Allman snuck that in, basically at GLE. Really good defense there by the D-Midi, and just yikes.
I think he's right on the post there. Oh, he turned away. The goalie looked like the goalie turned away a little bit and just allowed just like a sliver of space in between his body and the pipe.
Yeah, not a great shot selection, I don't think, by Allman, but nonetheless.
No, that's one as a coach that you go over of, I'm glad we got that goal, but don't shoot that. Yeah, don't shoot that again. Because it's that 99 times out of 100, that's a save, and that was the one.
Yeah, Watson was going to make that save, like you said, 99 times out of 100. So I think the guys we headlined early before the game, Silstrop and Slusher and Bundy and Blake, we haven't heard too much from those guys. Hoping to see a difference in the second half here. That's Barnes down the alley. Great save by Watson. And another turnover here, though.
Yeah, it was a little unsettled opportunity. And the North, like we talked about, maybe there's been a couple now times where they've settled it up. Oh, there's a great around-the-world goal.
Jake Taylor, we talked about him in the broadcast to start. Obviously one of the best pure shooters in the game. Likened him to Klay Thompson. He's got great hands. He moves so well off ball, and nifty little goal around the world. Yeah, I mean, that's just a great play. Not much you can do defensively. Not much Watson could do.
Well, cover him, don't let him get open in the first place. But that once he catches that pass, that's not much you can do about it.
So we got a ball game here.
Absolutely.
Pacheco
wins it forward.
Wow, great save by Watson.
Yeah, on the left-handed, one-handed underhand shot. That's his second one that he's a guy that he's, at least in this game, is looking for the highlight reel goal.
Ooh, great take. That's Jacob Jackson from right here, Dallas Jesuit. Big 6'4" left-handed midi going to Michigan for Kevin Connery. Played against him this spring. He is a tough cover, athletic, physical, and then you saw him, great little split dodge, overhand shot. Sobey had no chance.
Yeah, take a look at that goal here. Gets around him, switches back to the right hand. High to low, bounces in.
Just hit that pipe, great shot, snuck it in there. Nice to see some of the Dallas kids locally in here having a great game. Lots of their family and friends are on site here watching.
And Myers is able to pull it out for the South, but turns it over. Get some transition opportunity back here from the North. Over to the wing, back and across. And it is the lefty finish there from Slusher.
Yeah, Alex Slusher not really known for his off-ball play right there, but catching it left-handed and finishing it. Great job, great feed by Jake Taylor. And the North seems to have all the momentum right now.
They do. It must have, I don't know what it must have been, but.
Maybe it was a pep talk. Maybe Coach Justin Anderson gave him a pep talk.
Maybe it must have been something that was said down there for those North guys. Because they have come out and it's been all North here in the third quarter. go back to the faceoffs. Pollard for the South will take a draw against Pacheco again for the North, and Pacheco comes out with it, but he's not able to secure the ground ball. We'll get a little help from his wing there.
Kellen Hoke, big do-it-all midi from Skyline High School in Seattle. Kellen can face off, he can play D midi, and he can actually score goals and dodge. He's going to kind of be a Swiss Army knife for Utah. Another guy that was sort of overlooked in the recruiting process.
Yeah, he's a guy, he's listed as a face-off guy coming up there in the wings, and I think that is the kind of player talked to Brian Holman about him. That was a real nice goal.
There you see Slusher doing what Slusher does. I mean, not only did he just put Scott Bauer on skates, who's one of the best defensemen out there, but that was Slusher doing Slusher.
I think that was that Slusher? That was Russ Scott. I think that was number 3.
Oh, it was. They look so similar. They play so similar. It was. Putting Scott Bauer on skates like that is not easy to do. Arguably one of the best defenders in the country, so that's a heck of a move from Scott.
It's arguably one of the best defenders, and I will say it is something that is argued very often.
100%.
There are many people in the camp who really like him. I think Virginia is getting a great player there.
Oh, Mitchie Myers and Pacheco. What a great battle we've seen at the X. 2 insanely physical, tough kids.
Yeah, Pacheco is a guy, he's remind a little bit of what it's like staying next to Greg Grenlian, which is like, it makes you, man, I gotta hit the weight room today.
Yeah.
Because he has not missed many days in the weight room.
Might be time for a cell timeout. Alex Slusher again, great feed.
We're gonna get a look at that hit here.
Ooh, look at that. That's a lot of meat.
Yeah, but Pacheco is a guy, when you stand next to him, you'll see why he was not the guy who fell down there.
Great balancing act by Slusher. That's his second lefty finish. Seeing him display multiple skill sets today.
Yeah, it looks like the North is maybe one lefty attackman short.
Just interesting to me how similar Ross Scott and Alex Slusher look and play. And they're both from Oregon, ironically. So here's Hoke taking his first face-off of the game against Pollard.
And it's Pollard who will come away with it for the South over to his wing there.
Colin O'Connor. 2-time All-American at La Costa Canyon. Tremendous wing player, tremendous off the ground and ground balls. South needs a goal here. They need to regroup, get their personnel on, and get back to business here.
Yeah, we talked about they came out, both teams very clearly, I think, got some halftime speeches from their coaches about possessing the ball and not throwing it away in transition. And that has resulted in the South hasn't had the ball for a bit because the North has done a great job possessing it. But here they'll get a look at that South offense again. They'll swim, dodge, and roll back. Ooh. And a nice find in front is Bradbury coming open in front, catching the feed from Tillman.
Great sneak cut, just some pretty poor off-ball defense and some ball washing. Great feed, great cut. Tyler Bradbury, another one of those undersized guys. He and Holden Evans, just two of the fiercest competitors. Always hustling, great off-ball guys, great in the ride game, great ground balls, just making up for what they lack in size with heart. I love coaching this kid.
Yeah, and that was one you could see his defender actually on the pass took a step the wrong way, didn't know. He did a great job of realizing his defender wasn't watching him and that he could cut around in front.
Great ride by Slusher. Bodies flying everywhere. I love the intensity.
Yeah, absolutely. North coming back with the ball. We're going to throw it down to Josh Davey on the sideline with us, South defender Marco Napolitano. Josh?
The reason the North has gone on this little run here is because of the guy next to me. He's on the sideline and on the field, and I would imagine, Coach Zissi, you would agree with me as a guy you know well, Marco Napolitano going to Notre Dame next year from Torrey Pines, 2019 state champs. Marco, you've been in there a lot. It's getting physical. It's a 99 game right now. What are you seeing out there?
I mean, they're definitely making a run. Like you said, there's a lot of hitting going on, but I think we'll be able to make a run here soon. And and end up on top there.
What's it been like so far playing with a bunch of guys you're not too familiar with? I know you're a West Coast Stars lifer. There's a lot of guys who have come through that program who are playing here today. What's it been like so far, just trying to create chemistry and understand, what it's like playing with some new guys, and an experience you'll have to go through, next year when you're with Irish?
I mean, I'm definitely out here with a bunch of my boys from like Torrey Pines and a bunch of guys I've been playing against in like all these like tournaments I've been doing. But all these guys on my team, they're awesome guys. It's really easy for us to mesh together on the field, so I don't think that'll be a problem at all. So
Notre Dame next year, why are you so excited to go there?
The coaches are awesome. I mean, the academics, like, insane, and the network that the alumni have after you graduate is just awesome. So I'm just really looking forward to get there and then have fun after. So
awesome. We'll tell your coach to put you back in the game because you need it right now with some defense. So good luck the rest of the way. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Josh. There is Pacheco completing the trifecta of wild highlight reel attempted goal shots. He went behind the back, one-handed offhand, and now goes backhand.
Yeah, we missed when we were down with Marco. We missed a great goal by Jake Taylor, intercepting the goalie's clearing pass and just dunked it. Again, Jake Taylor starting to show, his many skill sets, and here he is. Yikes! Don't let that guy get his hands free. Great save. Zach Tripp is now in the goal, replacing Watson. Agora High School plays for Sean Lindsay, former Syracuse legend, and Zach's heading to Utah next year.
He's a guy. Talked to Brian Holman a little bit about him as well. They're very, very excited. Adam Gittleman is very excited to get the opportunity to coach him there for the youths.
Great coaching staff there. Love all those guys. Tremendous teachers of the game and great energy with a young staff like that. Really fun place for kids to go to the next level. Here we see our first look at Mike Mines. Really where this kid thrives is between the lines. Probably at Maryland will be a clearing midi, play some defensive midi. Again, you see him. He's sort of a thoroughbred and one of the fastest guys in this game.
Solberg take a run, a little bit of a run at his defender. Now we'll get a matchup of Michael Jeske. Draws the slide against Mustang Sally. Over the backside, the lefty rip there.
Alex Pistorius, there again, like I said earlier, great hands, one of the best pure shooters out in the West, coming off a huge spring. And again, Jake Taylor, Alex Pistorius, don't let these guys get their hands free and get comfortable. Otherwise, you're in for a long night.
Yeah, this guy mentioned there at halftime. Peter Baum was talking about it. Had his eye on him as a guy who's headed to Colgate.
Yep, Colgate got a good one. Another guy that was sort of under-recruited and was around late, and I think it's a great fit. Smart kid, great little fit academically and lacrosse-wise for Alex. There's Pete Baum. Paul Carcaterra.
Maybe that's what it was. We stole them away from the North team at halftime, and then Andy Kagan to coach, and instead of those guys, I was able to coach them up and get the real game plan in.
There you go.
Don't tell Clark I said that.
I love it, though. We're in a tight game. Nothing's better than when these games are one-goal games. It makes it so much more exciting to watch at home.
Oh, yeah, certainly. There's nothing better than one goal across games, or tied as a fan in sports, in my humble opinion.
Coatad going behind, a little invert here.
It's a big guy to defend out of the invert with a short stick. Draws the slide here, moves it up. See if they can get over to the backside. The North defense able to recover before they do, but the step down there.
Oh, wow.
It was a nice high-to-high rip, but that's Sobey in net for the North, up to the task. Get a look back at the North offense. Initiate from up top against the short stick. So you roll back to the center and a shot. I don't think the goalie knows where it is.
It's inside of him. Okie doke. Great save there. Again, just another, this is the fifth goalie we've seen today, Zach Tripp, and every one of these guys has picked up where the guy before him left off.
There you go. A little plug for Adrenaline uniforms. Goal. They save goals.
Yeah. No, they catch balls. And that's it. So we're going to head into the fourth quarter here tied. And at this point, it's really anybody's game.
I'd say it's pretty much a definitional of a tie game, is that either team certainly has a chance to win. Any thoughts on what these teams, any adjustments they need to make going into the fourth quarter?
I think the team that's going to sort of come out on top is just, but all these goalies are red hot. So whoever can shoot better is going to win, which is obviously a sort of an obvious statement. But right now, shot selection is pretty poor. And with hot goalies, you have to be better about where you're shooting from and just taking better shots. I think it's going to be the key to who wins this game.
I completely agree. On that thought, we are going to take a quick break here before the start of the fourth quarter.
Adrenaline's been a great sponsor for us this year. We came in and got all new gear. We got some new jackets and some shooter shirts and some new uniforms. All this stuff's been really light.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Adrenaline All-American game, 2019 edition. We're going to go down to Josh on the sidelines with the South coach. I apologize. We're not going to do that. We're just going to keep going with the game. I'm here with Jono Zisi in the booth.
Looking forward to an exciting finish here, guys. There's Connor McCusker with his first face-off win of the day. It's been kind of a seesaw battle at the X. Everybody sort of about 500.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that tends to happen in games like this, where each team, you got 2 or 3 face-off guys who are rotating, trying to get many reps. As soon as the guy gets in a rhythm, it's time to put the next guy in to give him a shot, and you're dealing with juggling different matchups. So it tends to be hard to have a guy who wins 80-90%.
Yeah, the face-off guys are always usually so neurotic and trying to get into a groove. And great cut, JJ Sostrop.
It's a great cut, also great feed to find him on that back cut.
Back to our theme of just really hot goalies. Kevin Sobey, great job right there. But
I think that is one of the things that I think is that you see in these type of games. That is one of the big adjustments to college, is just the level of goaltending. That your shot selection has to adjust to better goalies. And it can be tough, especially guys who if you're not playing, if you don't have a great goalie on your own team in high school and you get used to just being able to crank it kind of at will and score, it can be a tough adjustment to make that takes some time.
Very rare to see J.J. Silstrop get stuffed. Like I said earlier, probably one of the best attackmen to come out of the state of California in a decade, going to play for arguably the best offensive coach ever, Matt Brown. So J.J., I still have nightmares about J.J. from my spring coaching, so happy to see him moving on.
South throws it away. Here's Cole Finley Pons coming out of the box, pick up the ball, looks to generate a transition opportunity. Goes the backhand pass. He will cut open. He's open inside if they want to give it to him. The South will come up with the loose ball. It's Beto carrying it down.
Matthew Beto, another in the long line of under-recruited guys. Oh, gosh.
That was a nice split dodge. The shot rings off the post and out of bounds, but those little shades of Scott Ratliff with the pole coming down, being willing to split dodge an offensive midfielder.
Beto plays long stick and short stick on his high school team in the spring. He's actually just such a great player and just really didn't get the recognition throughout the recruiting process that he deserved.
Here is Mines down the alley. Will feed it across. And bounces through. Butler will take a run from the wing. Manages to get top side, takes the shot. A couple of North defenders there to get a stick on it and send it high.
Stevens covering Butler, future Ivy League matchup. Here's Porter Holland.
Side, there's a dodge, a feed up top, one more over. Getting a nice split dodge into a recovering defender, and
Kevin Groninger.
That was a great lefty shot there. Able to get enough velocity on it, able to bounce it off the goalie and in.
Kevin Groninger this year led St. Margaret's to a state title and has become the all-time leading point scorer in the state of California. Good for Kevin. Ambidextrous, play attack in midfield, super athletic, really good get for the Bryant guys.
Yeah, nice split dodge there. The jump shots, they got enough power on that. He just jams Sobey up inside. I think it hits him off his chest protector and in. It's a good time to go there against a recovering defense. Defender a step late coming out to you. Isn't able to get out and break down. Great recognition to find that dodging opportunity. The battle for this ground ball.
There he is, Luke Michaelczewski, utility guy.
I was thinking, are we? I know he's headed to an MCLA program. Are we sure that's still going to be the case tomorrow?
Good gosh, yeah. I feel for the guy.
I meant in terms of as any coach is going to see this and maybe make an offer, call him up tonight and see if they can still get him into the admissions. But he's had a great game between the lines, player for this South team. Certainly one of the reasons that they're up by a goal.
Yep, just speaks to the growth of the game, not only in high school, but the MCLA too. Great save by Tripp. Here comes Tripp doing his little Adam Gittleman impersonation. Loves to come out of the goal. This is not something new for him.
No, I always think of it. You can tell. I feel like you can tell goalies who have played field positions
100%.
and goalies who were put in goal from the moment they were in 4th grade and have never played anything else. And that is a goalie who clears like he has played a couple games in the field.
Yeah, you look, he plays a lot like Adam Gittleman, who was a tremendous high school running back in football. And there's JJ. Oh boy. And Tripp used to play attack, so you can tell that he was a field player and likes to get up and out the same way. And no surprise, he's going to Utah.
That was a real nice behind the back look from Silstrop. One of those situations where the behind the back shot increases your angle and really is the I want to say fundamental, but the better move in that type of situation. There's a crank from the wing.
The goalie play continues to be rock solid. All 5 of these kids done a really formidable job tonight.
Absolutely. Somebody did a great job picking them.
Yeah.
That's always I am. In terms of a potential evaluator, goalies are, I always find, the most difficult position to evaluate.
I'd like to see Graham Bundy get going here. Not a whole lot of.
He's got a short stick matchup.
Need to get him more involved in the flow of the offense here.
There he is. He's open. He's open. There's a nice sidewinder shot there.
Topher Bly.
Yeah. Comes down. It's an athletic play to be able to set up to swing your hips around the wrong way almost to set up that strong hand shot with the top side hand because as you move down the alley. But it's a move you see a lot. I think Lyle Thompson. A lot of these kids who are watching Lyle Thompson goals on YouTube that looked a lot like that and have added that move to their games as a result. Get another look at the North offense. We'll look to set things up and initiate. They've finished subbing again on the outside of the goal there. A shot by Graham Blake.
Mom goal.
Yes, named fools some people. Not that it just fools moms, but moms are the ones who cheer the loudest.
I'd like the South to settle down here right now and get the proper personnel on.
I think they should push it. But disagree just to disagree. But get a look at their offense again. Wing dodge here underneath, feet across the back.
Oh, wow, great feed. Two guys were actually open.
Yeah, that's almost a case where they're crunched up the spacing and brought defenders there. But they were able to get the ball, squeeze through that gap over to Bradbury.
Yep, that's Bradbury again. And as a guy that's under 5'7" myself, I know you have to make a living off ball if you're not the biggest or the fastest guy. And Bradbury does a really good job of being an off ball player and getting into spots. And he's tough, great off ball guy, and great find by Solberg. We talked about Solberg earlier, ambidextrous, hard dodging, always draws a slide, and so much so that two guys were wide open right there.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication there from the North defense in terms of who was covering who. Lost a couple of guys there on the backside.
Looks like Pacheco probably has the overall advantage at the X. He's been impressive all day today.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that I think he's, in terms of none of the face-off guys, they've all been pretty good. None of them have been don't look like they belong, but he's at a couple of fast breaks. He's gone for maybe some fancy shots that you would think Pat Toomey, Charlie Toomey. Wrong name there. Is Loyola coach Charlie Toomey would rather have him maybe not take those behind the back and backhand. Look to get some scoring opportunities, but that's also something Loyola's had a bunch, is face-off guys who can score. And speaking of scoring, get a goal there for the North by I believe it was Goller.
Great take, big goal right there. Trimmed the lead to 1. That was a great take, and just short stick got left on an island. Rainey's late to slide, poor angle. Again, you got to be in a game like this. You really ought not to slide to the poles. You have to assume that they can hopefully win their matchups one-on-one, but you got to be ready to go to the shorties. That was just their defensive midi was left on an island.
But also, that's a great skill play to be able to go right-handed down the alley and put it back into your left hand to increase the angle and have the skill with the left hand there to bounce that one in.
Very fundamentally sound. So great take, always great to get back underneath and finish in front, as they say.
Gonna look here at the South up by 1.
Pistorius again, yikes, deflection, great stick right there, 26.
Absolutely, ends up with the goalie who's able to come up throwing.
Here comes Edelman.
To the wing.
Oh boy, another great save.
Step in front, and Blake.
Can we give the MVP to all 5 goalies?
I'm not sure who makes the rules. Who makes the rules on that? Because that is a pretty good idea. Because the goalies have definitely been the most valuable players on their team at any given moment.
Oh boy.
North comes with the ball, finds a guy in front, bounce shot goes wide.
Nice look by Ryan Rogers. I think Hoke would want that one back if he could.
Here's Blake with a run at his defender off the end line.
Napolitano
falls down.
Oh, wow. Rainey just absolutely murdering Mark Stevens there.
That one, it was a good hit, but that one, he just held on the ball too long. I think it would have been worse had he not anticipated that the ball's going to come out of his stick.
Agree. I got to think the North should probably try to get a different game plan than dodging Marco Napolitano.
Here, we'll take a look at that shot.
That might be a cross check in real life, potentially.
Yeah, that on when it was on retrospect, that was potentially a cross check and potentially high. I think he expected him to get the ball out and held up a little bit, and that's why it didn't get called.
It's good that, like I said earlier, the refs are letting the kids play, which is what everybody wants to see, so it's all good.
Here's Bastian with the ball for the South.
Right idea.
He will have another go at his short stick. From that low corner. Go back top side. Gets around for the lefty shot, and that another save by our goalies.
Yeah, that's not really the look. That was one guy holding the ball for over a minute. No real flow of offense. No one had to slide. No one had to rotate, and just kind of a below average shot from outside of 15. Not a great look for the South. Pivotal possession here for the North.
Yeah, they need one. 2 minutes left. Running clock situation. If you don't get one, he ends up in the crease there. Ooh, they're going to get in the hold call. The refs bailing out the North here. Take a look at some of these saves from our goalies. Great one, another great one. Leg kick save there.
Groff is just pretty phenomenal. Great piece by Napolitano here. Deflection. We're under 2 minutes now. Pivotal possession for the North here. Sort of do or die.
It's either do, ride it back, or die, I would say.
I just don't understand the North's game plan here.
Here's Marquez taking a run at his guy. Gets to the middle of the field, right hand. Is able to skip one wide. Their backup is there, though. Rogers will pick it up off the end line.
Here we go, final minute.
1 minute remaining in the game.
Oh, wow.
There we go. North finally runs some good offense. Get a skip pass through on a dodge against a defender on the backside who was looking to be playing off ball, and he's able to get out to his defender and get set up on ball in time.
Niedringhaus caught the ball, ready to dodge. He caught it, split right off the catch, and hammered the ball overhand. Textbook. Love when guys catch the ball right into their dodge.
And that's one of those shows his versatility. He's able to set up for the left-handed crank if the ball gets to him, and then split back to his right hand, come down the alley and score.
Here we go. Final 20 seconds. Apparently there are no timeouts, or are there?
I don't know. Now's a good time to take. Well, I guess they have numbers. They got a guy coming in.
10 seconds.
Can't find him. Get a feed up across.
We're going
interception.
to overtime, it looks like. Tried to find Larner, the last-ditch Hail Mary. We're heading to overtime here. I love it.
Knotted up at 12. Get some added drama. It's been the theme in lacrosse these last couple weeks with in the pro game. A ton of overtime games. It's like we'll get one here.
Really sort of even distribution today. It's like when you start thinking about who guys are for that MVP award at the end of the day, it's, you know, a lot of guys did a lot of things well. It's hard to say that one or two guys really stood out above anybody else. So some hard decisions to make here. Might come down to who the hero is here in overtime.
Yeah, I think there was looks like there was maybe a bit of a question about whether or not we were going to overtime. And I think they just told them to get lined up that we are going to overtime.
I mean, I would sure hope so.
I would as well. What is this, the Major League Baseball All-Star game?
It's unclear, but
I think their players are coming back out in the field. I think there's no reason not to. There you go. Get the PA announcement that we are in fact headed to overtime.
You got Paul Carcaterra out there on the field. Looks like he's trying to dial in some kind of face-off wing play situation here. We've got Pollard and Pacheco out there. Best in Colorado, best in Orange County. Going at it right now. Pivotal face-off right here. Possession is huge.
We'll put 4 minutes on the clock for overtime, as is how it works in lacrosse.
And there's Pacheco again.
Yeah, he's been doing a heck of a job winning them all day. Comes down. He's going to shoot that one.
Great save by Tripp. Wow. Literally just saved the game. He saved that with his bicep.
The game on the line. Pacheco goes to the overhand shot, though.
Another great save.
I think further cementing, really, the MVP's almost just got to be which combination goalie for the winning, whoever goalie's on the winning team. I feel like
looks like it was tipped. Probably the wrong call there, but yikes, that was a costly turnover. Senseless turnover.
Here's Finley Pons working it up in transition.
Another senseless turnover. Great ride. Oh boy. Oh boy.
But the North able to take it away.
Edelman, great play in between the lines there.
Yeah, to get it back. Here's Bly. Taking it in. He will bounce it. Another
Tripp.
Spectacular save.
Tripp, clear the crease, please. Great save by Zach Tripp. Bly had a great look, good hard take, clean look at the cage. Another just great save by Tripp. Here comes Bundy.
Won the little big game.
Great defense. Politano.
Oh, wow.
There's the game. Henry Carpenter winning the game for his coach, Andy Kay.
You just blast. That's a weight room goal right there. Able to just shoot it right through the check and stick it low and away for the goal. After Tripp comes up with two big saves in overtime.
What a great game. Couldn't have asked for a better game. Great finish, exciting all the way around.
Absolutely, I think it's a fantastic capstone to this entire weekend, entire event. It's, a great game to cap off a great weekend.
Let's take a look at the game winner here on replay. Napolitano has a stick on him. He shoots right through the check of Napolitano.
Which is not something you generally would advise anybody. I wouldn't tell anybody to go do that, but it's worked out. Oh, looks like I think he just missed on the lift, which is why he's able to stick that shot. But a heck of a goal. Some discussion going on right now about who the MVP should be that I'm not even sure anybody knows. Yeah, we're talking potentially Pacheco, the face-off guy, could be one of the goalies. Offensively, really distribution of goals.
Yeah, this is a good problem to have. When you can't pinpoint one guy, it's great, and it says a lot about just how good the rosters were up and down. So it's a difficult problem to have. It's a good one to have. All the goalies were great. The scoring was evenly distributed. A lot of guys had a point, or at least a hockey assist, and were in the scoring column. So I think at the end of the day, the face-offs were the most sort of lopsided differentiator, and Eric Pacheco was solid. And had Eric Pacheco finished a couple of those goals, he might have even had this thing in a runaway.
Yeah, but I think it's sort of there's definitely is a case to be made for Pacheco, and it's hard, difficult. As you said, I think it speaks to the depth of this game and the talent out there, that there isn't one guy who was really able to dominate. And so, a guy going 65% on faceoffs, really creating a couple fast breaks that he came up empty, but he's probably was the difference in this game. But
Yep.
certainly, if he's under 50%, it's hard to see the North send this one to overtime.
Yeah, it was a great game. I think, like we said, we saw a lot of guys get playing time and a lot of guys do some nice things. And it was a great game because of that. A little bit sloppy in the first half, but attribute that to nerves and some great defenders and some aggressive riding, and maybe it was, a little bit of all of the above.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when in the second half, especially when able to calm things down, think things over, and play, make smart decisions rather than just the most aggressive decision. They really were able to showcase the talent of these players and what they're going to be able to do at the next level.
Yeah, it's a great capstone to the end of the road for a lot of these guys, many of whom we've coached in this program and in these tournaments since 3rd and 4th grade, and just sort of to see them end their careers with this game, and friendly rivals of opposing teams and club teammates and all of the above, watching them kind of hang out afterwards and enjoy each other is what it's all about, and it's just great for Western lacrosse.
Going to hang around for a couple minutes while they get ready to hand out the MVP award for this game. Any thoughts on a guy who you saw something today that is something to watch for Division I fans in the future?
Yeah, I think a couple takeaways are, the headliners we know are the headliners. I think Utah's got a lot of great players on this roster heading their way that I think are going to do really great things. And I think just the biggest thing for me is there's so many guys on this roster that were under-recruited and aren't big-name guys, which doesn't really matter, but I think are going to do great things in college, and I'm excited for them because there's a lot of hype these days with social media and rankings and all this sort of nonsensical stuff, but there's a lot of very talented players on this roster that got overlooked and consequently have a chip on their shoulder, and I think are going to do great things at the next level. And so today I saw a little bit of that from some of those guys.
No, I think ranking, the kind of the thing that about rankings is the ranking itself doesn't determine how good you're going to be. But I will say, my colleague Ty Zanders puts a lot of work into those and generally does an excellent job of figuring out who are the guys that are going to make a difference at the next level. And he certainly misses some. But there's a lot. There's a lot of guys in this game who are very, very, very high ranked guys. We talked about a couple of Scott Bauer, J.J. Silstrip are certainly our top 10, top 20 type players in the country.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's why you're seeing so much parity at the college level, because there are just so many great players that it's becoming harder and harder for anyone. And kudos to Ty, does a great job. But it's just there are a lot of great players out there, and I think the guys that are underrated a little bit just have that built-in chip on their shoulder, which I think will pay dividends when they get to the college level, having to have work maybe twice as hard for recognition.
Absolutely. We're going to go down to the field with Josh Davey has the MVP award. Josh.
All right, we are down on the field here with Alex Cade, CEO of Adrenaline, to announce the 2019 Adrenaline All-American MVP to Eric Pacheco. He's got stitches in his chin right now. You got a photo right here. Eric, you got your chin's a little blade up here today. I think it's indicative of how physical this game was and level of talent. How much fun was it playing in this game?
It was an absolute blast. Obviously, these are the best players in the West and arguably the world for me. This was just a really great opportunity for me to come out and play my game against the best players in the country, so I'm really thankful for that.
Awesome, congratulations. And guys, on behalf of everyone inside lacrosse too, it was so awesome watching you guys play this weekend. Congrats to all of you. I know these guys want to take a photo as well.
Thanks, Josh. With that thought, any final thoughts on this game, John, before we head out?
No, it sort of is what it is when it comes to an all-star game, littered with talent. And today I thought we saw some pretty good cohesion and guys played together, and it wasn't too selfish. And so it was better than most games. This is the 9th iteration of this. This was as good as any of them before. So kudos to all the kids.
As good as I've been to overtime. You're sure this is the best?
Yeah, it might be.
I think we can tentatively declare this was the best Adrenaline All-American game
there you go.
Ever.
Okay,
I'll stand by that. I'll make that argument.
I'm in.
And with that, thanks for tuning into the broadcast. I'm Patrick McEwen here with John Ozisi and Josh Davies on the sideline. Thanks on behalf of everyone in the production crew. Thanks for tuning in. We will catch you next year.